my buddy, he was just telling me, I don't know where the conversation started, but, he gets a check a little bit from VA, and so that's not enough. He was telling me about the $20, and he's a worker, he's a worker. This guy's a worker like me. I'm just now returning home from busting my ass doing a brake job in his car, and the sad part is that people are bitching about $20 an hour, and a lot of the people that are bitching about $20 an hour in California for minimum wage for fast food workers are workers themselves. They've gotten convinced that $20 an hour is bad for the economy. And they, that's a right-wing talking point that it's, the workers don't deserve $20 an hour. Guess what? $20 an hour is $160 per day gross. Meaning that's not take home. Even if it was take home, that ain't much. $20 an hour is $800 a week gross. So out of that, you're gonna bring home maybe $600. Okay, rest goes to taxes because you gotta, maintain the roads. You gotta pay for students. For students, the schools. You gotta pay for, because if we don't maintain our education system, then there goes civilization. No education, empirical education, no civilization. So think about it. $160 a day in California. But I don't care where you live in the United States. First of all, a lot of these workers, they don't get full-time. Most of these workers don't work full-time. A lot of these workers, they work part-time because a lot of these fast food joints are part-time jobs, okay? So, but let's say they do work full-time, okay? Okay, so you work full-time in California or anywhere in the United States right now. Tell me with a straight face that $160 gross a day, that 100, which, if you look at, that's 120 take home. You tell me with a straight face that a person in the United States of America in 2024 can afford to live in the United States. Please tell me with a straight face that you can afford to live in the United States with $120 a day for one person. Take home. Please, convince me. Where in the United States can you live for $120 take home a day? Think hard. Please think hard. I mean that. Okay? You can afford healthcare, or you can afford clothing, food, a roof over your head, gasoline for your car, tolls, maintenance on that car, insurance on that car. Please tell me where it is. You need internet. Now, notice that no one, but especially the right wing in the United States, the conservative, the so-called family values people who care so much about families that they refuse to pay them a livable wage, and they continue to give billionaires and the ruling class and corporations trillions of dollars in tax breaks every time they get a chance. Okay, that's the conservative so-called we love the family party, the Republican Party. So, you, me, the rest of the planet, we send our children to school. We have zero family leave, zero maternity leave in the United States, zero sick leave in the United States. Yet, we are tasked with raising our children, paying the taxes, the majority of the taxes, the working class. So we have schools, we pay for the schools, we pay for the teachers, we pay for the roads, the police, the fire department, the army, the government, all the agencies, the court systems, everything, so we can keep society running. We're the ones who are paying for that, so we can get one and then pay for college, for the college professors' educations, for all the costs that are associated with public education, which educates the absolute vast majority of the professionals. So we get this professional ready, we take that professional and our children, and we make them available for corporate America, who, by the way, finances most of the anti-labor and anti-fair pay and anti-workers' rights laws in the United States, so they can get cheap labor, our children, for cheap, after we busted our ass getting them ready for corporate America, so they can exploit them for $40,000, for $30,000 a year to begin with, after we spent a shitload of money, hundreds, if not millions of dollars, to educate one person to make them ready for corporate America, so that corporate America can exploit them, so that they don't have to pay taxes. And in the meantime, these jerk-offs go out there and buy their own stock back with the profits from the shit and the services that we buy from them, what's called buybacks, so they can artificially keep their stocks high, and they don't pay taxes on those buybacks. That's considered, cost of operation, operational expenses. They don't pay taxes on that. And then the Republicans shower them with tax-free. Some of these corporations get tax refunds even though they lost money. And then they prorate those losses forward to 7 years, however many years they're getting, where you can prorate those losses. And for years they don't pay taxes on those losses, quote unquote losses, because remember, they use billions of dollars to buy their own taxes back, and they don't pay taxes on those billions of dollars. And then with the tax, then on top of that, they get bailed out. They get bailed out when they go ahead and their parties, the corporate greed, just fucking money hungry junkies. And when we bail them out, when there's a pandemic, we pay the salaries, we give them, and then we forgive those loans, right? All of these companies, and then some of these politicians took back some of these loans, especially the right-wing politicians, and then they have the audacity to say that, call other people welfare queens, when the true welfare queens in this nation is corporate America and the trillionaires, while they're launching themselves, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and the rest of the billionaire club, into space with taxpayer-funded, money that we gave them in the form of, bailouts and fucking letting them buy back their own stock, paying themselves is outrageous. In the middle of fucking, remember the crisis in 2008? When everybody, the government, not the government, people say the government, it's the taxpayers. We bailed out the banks, and these motherfuckers, while they were going down and we bailed them out, they were paying bonuses, multi-million-dollar bonuses to their executives. Then they paid their executives, fucking tens of millions of dollars per year in salaries, and nobody bats an eye, nobody questions those salaries. Yet, when somebody wants to pay one worker $20 stinking gross an hour, that's $120 take home per day. Everybody, socialism, dude, man, get real, man. You gotta get real. You gotta get real, man. $20 an hour wasn't shit 10 years ago. $20 an hour wasn't shit 5 years ago. And $20 an hour for damn sure ain't shit in 2024. Okay? And please, this bullshit that they're going to have to raise the prices of Happy Meal to $20. Bullshit. That's not true. They might have to they'll have to buy one less fucking Ferrari, a year. They might have to cut back on their expenses on their mistress, They might have, God for fucking bid, they lower the fucking salary of a fucking CEO. God forbid they don't do a buyback of their own stock this year, And people say, well, I don't think a guy, making my fries, which, by the way, if you've never worked fast food, you don't know what fucking pressure and busting your ass is, okay? You have no idea what it is. And then on top of that, if you don't know, and people say, oh, well, I don't think a nurse, a guy making my fries should make the same amount as a nurse. Absolutely, I agree. You should pay nurses way more fucking money, that they're making. Because nurses, they're fucking being exploited by this. Most, pay attention, and most of the health companies, the hospital companies, hospital chains in the United States are owned by religious institutions who don't pay a red cent in taxes. Here in Orlando is Advent Health. In Miami is Baptist Health. In California is Catholic churches who own that shit. Do your research, okay? Go to an emergency room right now and see how much they charge for a 3-hour fucking ordeal with a cold or some shit like that, where you don't even see a doctor. They put you they let you see a physician assistant, and then they give you a little IV, a little saline IV, which costs them 99 cents, and they sell it to you for $1,000. And then they give you a little prescription for antibiotics and some shit like that. They charge you $6,000. The fucking Adventist church. Go ahead and find out how much they made last year. The Adventist health system. Go ahead, find out how much they make. And go ahead and don't pay them. And you'll see what happens. They'll come after you like the fucking mob. Alright? Some people are having to declare bankruptcy. So that shit, that the medical bills are not being, But see, the point is, we're mad, we're angry at the wrong people. And then they have the nerve to offer a fucking nurse $27 an hour with $60,000 in fucking student loans. That's the problem. It ain't the guy making your fries. It's the guys who own the hospital. It's the guy who owns the corporation. It's the corporations fucking us in the ass, and then paying your politicians to see how much, to paying the politicians to especially the right-wing politicians to fight against a livable salary, against free public education, against making campaigns, against price control in rents. Because as soon as they want to do rent control, here comes the realtor associations in the United States. I got a real estate license in the state of Florida. I'm glad they got fucking sued. Price fixing motherfuckers. Them and Keller Williams. Fuck them. I was with them. They're a bunch of fucking crooks. So, I went with a small broker now. They're fucking. These people they got fangs coming out of their fucking the management. They got a bunch of good agents, but the people in the management positions, I'm telling you, they're goons. So, they want to let the market dictate. Let the market dictate. The market doesn't dictate shit. The market exploits. The market has been, and when they say the market, it's code talk for corporations and the greedy. And their prostitute politicians. No offense to prostitutes. I think you're I think it was one of the most needed services on earth. The oldest profession. What's the big deal? Keeping it illegal is keeping all this fucking trafficking people. Now, that's another story. I'll make another video on that. Fucking religious right-wingers are calling prostitutes trafficked. No, they got most of the prostitutes out there, they're out there on their own. The ones that are trafficked are the children and all that stuff, and a lot of that, and then you got you got cartels doing that shit because it's illegal. Anything that you make illegal and people naturally want, you're gonna create an underground market for it, and that underground market is gonna have zero accountability. Okay, so that's another issue. But and then if you really want to be pissed at someone, here's somebody to be pissed at. The churches, religious institutions, churches in the United States. And this was probably like 5 to 10 years ago, this estimate. I have to find out who did the estimate, but it is estimated, and I think that's a short estimate. You have any idea how much tax money churches neglect to pay? It is estimated, and it was estimated a while ago, $71 billion per year. Let me say that again, $71 billion per year. You want to be pissed at someone, be pissed at your local church. Guess what? When they go buy toilet paper for the bathroom in the church, they don't pay sales taxes on it. They say, well, that's because the members pay taxes. Bullshit. The pastors don't pay shit. These motherfuckers are making... Kenneth Copeland, these fuckers, they don't pay a goddamn cent. Kenneth Copeland, these guys are... nobody knows, really. But there's rumors this guy's worth over $1 billion. This motherfucker comes out, look at the fucking hanger he's got. Last video I saw, he's bragging about it in front of his congregation. A hanger full, well over 10 airplanes, private jets and shit. They don't pay a red cent in taxes. You want to go after somebody, go after those people. This guy, what's his name? The guy from Texas, who refused to open his church until he got called out on that after the hurricane in Houston. He's saying, the church is flooded. He wasn't flooded. They went out there with videos and called him out on that. Then he opened it up. Oh, it was a bullshit. So Joel Osteen, this fucking guy, he pays taxes on the bullshit. These people pay a little bit of taxes on something on the side, and they show to see we pay taxes. And then they say, well, look at all the people we feed. You don't feed anybody, motherfucker. The people in the community, feed them. They give you that free labor and free materials for you to do whatever it is that you do, that these guys do, so they can ask for more money and pocket it and live super rock star lifestyles. 80s rock star lifestyle, because rock stars are starving right now. So you want to be mad at somebody, those are the people you got to be mad at, not the guy, Then, we're spending, how many billion did they lose? Billion or trillion? They don't know. They got, I don't know how many billions of dollars that they cannot account for in the Department of Defense. It's a mystery, and they didn't even fucking investigate it. All those fucking, charging us, $4,000 for, a pair of shoes or some shit like that for a toilet. The military, they just price gouge the shit out of it, and nobody bats an eye. Nobody says shit about this shit. And when they go investigate, oh, that's unpatriotic. That's unpatriotic. It's like, no, it's not. What's unpatriotic is beating up on your fellow workers, man. You got shit to do with liberal or left wing or nothing. I just do have a tendency to like to be paid for my work. I am certainly not a communist for wanting to be paid, because communism, does not say that. Most people, they want to talk about communism. They don't know what the fuck communism is. They have no idea. They've never read one page from Karl Marx, ever. They've never read anything from Karl Marx. And they all of a sudden, they're experts in communism. Read, man. What do you think? It's just going to turn you into somebody? It's going to open your eyes about what's real. I don't agree with Karl Marx and a lot of shit, but some of the shit does make sense. I don't agree that there needs to be a revolution, a violent revolution and shit like that. No, a revolution needs to be done with education. But so this crap about being angry about bitching about $160 a day in California, you need to let that go, man. That's not real. It's not real. Really, think about it. You're taking home $120 a day. Look at me with a straight face and tell me that you can make a good living. You can afford to live a decent life in the United States, anywhere. Take a shot anywhere in the United States. Please enlighten me. Where is it that you can have a good life at $120 a day? Please enlighten me. You can't. That's the answer. And it's not because Biden increased the price of bullshit. It's been like this for a long, long time, man. It's been unaffordable for a long time because the market, code word for the corporations, have prostituted everyone, and they paid for every Supreme Court decision. Shit, they have a thing called ALEC, American Legislative Exchange Council. Look it up, ALEC, ALEC. All it is a law factory. It's an association of corporations that write laws, and once they write these laws, they have their politicians that are bought and paid for, and these laws get passed verbatim. So, if you examples, just look it up, So, don't buy into the propaganda that people making $20 an hour is going to destroy the United States. It's actually the opposite. Okay? So, and we need a complete, reversal of Reaganomics, which is the biggest, the most cruel of all policies. They're called the neoliberalist doctrine, that if we give everything to the rich, eventually the rich will let us have some, it will trickle down. The trickle down economics is cruel. You won't even get the crumbs because these people are junkies. These people will never, ever get enough. If you let them, they'll destroy the planet. And then, which is what they're doing, they'll consume everything. I call them the necromongers. They love death, these people, just not their own, everybody else's. They exploit everybody, everything. That's what they want. The Elon Musk, the Jeff Bezos of the world, those people, those are the guys. They're not creating wealth. They're not creating jobs, nothing. They're exploiting everyone. And they're heavily investing in artificial intelligence so they can fire everybody and let but they're stupid. It's like my stepdad says, these people are stupid, because the worst thing you can do is kill your market. Really, think about it. If you all you have is a cow in your backyard, and you exsanguinate that cow, take the blood out of that cow, okay? Because, I mean, you've been getting milk from it and, and stuff like that, but it's like, I'm going to start taking blood out of it. I'm going to take a chunk of this, a chunk of that. Next thing you know, all you got is a cow. Yeah, you live all right for a little bit, but then what the fuck are you going to do when you've consumed the cow? See? So if you want to destroy a nation, you keep them sick, you keep them stupid, and you exploit them. But at the end of the day, you're going to run out of people to exploit. And all you're going to have is a polluted place, because in all the money in the world, is going to be worthless. Because if people can't afford shit, and you sell them shit, you employ them and you sell them the shit that they manufacture, you exploit them, you keep them sick, you don't educate them, you take the education from their kids so that no more workers can continue, who the fuck are you going to sell your shit to? It doesn't matter how much money you accumulate, you can't eat money if you destroy everything around you. Okay, so I'll have an army and all this shit and they'll protect me. Yeah, but the army eats, and the army's got families, and the families are from, and they're going to come. Those armies are going to come from those families that you're exploiting, and they'll turn against you. They'll turn against each other. By the way, all this shit that's happening in the world right now, it's the textbook definition of fuck up and wanting everything and destroying everything if you don't get it. Is Vladimir Putin. And look what is happening right now. This motherfucker today or yesterday, he just launched missiles from a nuclear submarine. So all this shit about trying to, exploit and getting to turn people against each other because, this guy make a little bit more money than me. Oh, he's not your enemy, man. The guys at the top, the corporations, those are your enemies. The guy making you fries ain't.